Does the sport diff make that big of a difference? That's going to be a very subjective opinion depending on who you ask. In my opinion, it does make a big difference. This is my second Audi. The first one was an A4, no bells or whistles. It was just normal driver. And then even comparing it to some other cars, right? Hondas, Land Rover, whatever else I've had. This is my first car with a sports diff. Now the whole point of it is the sports diff is going to manage the torque between your rear wheels. So when you're coming up to a turn, it's going to use torque vectoring and it's going to apply a little bit more power to that outside wheel during your turn. And a good way to test this is normally we kind of coast or like let off the throttle a little bit when you're coming into a turn. Apply a little bit more throttle as you go around. And what you're going to notice is you're going to feel more planted as you push on that throttle a little bit more. You're going to grip into the turn and you're just going to feel planted. The car wants to be there, wants to get you around that corner. That's the point of it, applying more torque to that outside wheel to get you through that turn. That's what it's there for. If you're just daily driving, you know, just kind of scooting around town, coasting, you're not going to notice it. It's really when you're taking those spirited drives, those spirited turns, corners, things like that. The first time I noticed it, I was like, all right, let me test this out. This was, I don't know, a year or two ago. And I opened up the throttle a little bit into a turn and I definitely felt it, because normally we're used to a little bit of understeer in certain vehicles, and so I was so used to that. So when I took the turn, I almost oversteered a little bit just because I was like, okay, I have to compensate for my speed. Didn't have to do that. It took me 2 times to figure that out, and I was like, all right, I need to stop turning as hard because that power was added and it wants to get you around that turn. So in my opinion, it's worth it. I would say, you know, for people who are going out looking for these packages, get it if you can, because it's not something that you're going to want later on down the road, because it can be really pricey, a couple grand for something like that to be added on. But wait for the depreciation to knock off, get it with a sport package, have some fun. All in all, if you can get it, get it. But if you can't, don't beat yourself up over it. It all depends on how you drive. Like I said, if you're just scooting around, you're not missing much. But those spirited drives, those turns, that's where it makes the difference.